Two people are in the hospital tonight after a shooting on a busy section of Colfax.
It happened right near East High School, a rec center, and several businesses. Denver police say both victims are under 18 years old. It happened around 4:30 today near East Colfax and Josephine Street, about 2 blocks south of City Park and down the street from East High School and Carla Madison Rec Center. Initially, police reported a third victim was also transferred to the hospital. DPD later corrected their information that it was only 2 victims, not 3. Multiple witnesses told a 9 News reporter on scene they saw or heard a fight involving teenagers prior to that shooting. Police haven't shared any information about a possible suspect or what led up to the shooting. We do know the rec center closed early and sent people home at 5 p.m.
It's not unusual for adults to face charges for providing minors with alcohol. It is unusual for prosecutors to indict 5 parents and a bus driver and 2 fake ID companies for it. Detectives started investigating after a 17-year-old crashed into a Lyft driver and killed 2 people in April. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan's along now to explain what happened in this case.
Kyle, it happened the night of Boulder High School's prom back in April. Prosecutors say students were so drunk on White Claws and vodka, they fell onto the pavement when they arrived at the actual dance. Investigators say the kids were drinking before prom, on the bus ride there, and at an after party. They say a 17-year-old girl left the after party to go get more booze. Colorado State Patrol says she crashed driving the wrong way on Foothills Parkway. A Lyft driver and his passenger died in that wreck. Another woman was seriously injured. The driver already faced charges, but now prosecutors are going after 5 parents, a party bus driver, and a liquor store. They say that liquor store has a history of selling alcohol to minors. Prosecutors are not saying that those groups were responsible for the wreck, just that they illegally provided or knew about the alcohol.
All they have to prove is what happened on the premises of each parent and what happened on the party bus itself. It isn't enough to say, well, maybe I didn't serve the young person that caused the crash and killed 2 innocent people. That's not going to get these parents anywhere. They're charged with.
However, 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says they could all face civil liability for the actual wreck. The Boulder Valley School District says it's taken steps to try to stop kids from drinking, especially around school events. But the superintendent says they're running into a problem with that. In a statement, he says because of the district's policies, some students aren't showing up at school events at all. He says they're staying at house parties or on the party bus all night instead, and he calls that worrisome. Kyle.
Man, I definitely have heard of like store clerks or stores being charged in situations like this, but going after the fake ID companies too. Yeah, that's very unusual. The parents, that number of parents is unusual. The fake ID companies, Scott Robinson says, is a very unprecedented perhaps step, one that's not likely to succeed because how do you nail down exactly who's responsible for some of these shady websites where kids buy fake IDs? Horrible situation, man, to have the school just kind of toss their hands up and just say the kids are so busy drinking they don't come to school events. That's wild. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Cole.
Police in Littleton arrested a soccer coach on felony sexual assault charges. 72-year-old James William Bain was charged with 5 counts of sexual assault on a child. Bain worked as a soccer coach with Colorado United and Littleton Soccer Club for over 30 years. He stepped down from coaching in June. Police say there are multiple victims. Bain also served as club president for the Littleton Soccer Club. Police are asking anybody who may have more information about potential victims out there to give them a call.
Family of the woman killed by falling debris on I-25 last month is now suing the truck driver who hit a bridge she was driving underneath. The lawsuit is against Darnell Yingling, driver of the truck carrying an excavator that clipped the bridge. And the suit is also against his employer, Import Towing and Recovery. Debris from the crash hit and killed Megan Arneson and hurt her son. The lawsuit alleges that Yingling and the company were reckless and negligent by not securing the excavator's arm or making sure the overpass had a high enough clearance.
We believe that the truck driver and the trucking company violated that safety rule, and this was preventable. It should never have happened. And so we do believe that the family has very strong claims in this lawsuit.
So far, no charges have been filed in the crash. Colorado State Patrol has said that it does expect charges at some point.
Another day, another heat record. Denver beat our heat record today. We reached 99 degrees at DIA. The last heat record was 95 degrees, set back in 2013. And you can barely see the mountains today from the Front Range. And thanks to that wildfire smoke we said was coming, it's now drifting in from out of state. Most of it is from fires in Montana and Washington. And forecasts show it might not be getting any better tomorrow. At least until noon tomorrow, most of the state will be covered in that smoke. So those who are usually sensitive should limit their time outside. If you need a cool place to stay, tomorrow you'll have one. The city of Denver is keeping their cooling centers open. All 30 city of Denver rec centers will be open with no cost access. Some Denver libraries will be open to cool off as well. You can see a full list of locations on 9news.com. Of course, Danielle will have more about the heat advisories and a red flag warning for tomorrow coming up in her full forecast.
When a mobile home park in Fort Collins went up for sale, the residents were worried that an investor would come in and develop the property. So the people who lived there came together with a nonprofit to buy the land and save their homes. They told 9 News reporter Mark Salinger that purchase has given them new life.
The Park Lane Mobile Home Park in Fort Collins has a new name. A name chosen by its new owners.
El nombre nuevo se llama Nueva Vida.
It's called Nueva Vida, or New Life, Mobile Home Park now, says Avilia Rosas, who's lived here for 15 years. We wanted a change, she says. When the land the community sits on went up for sale, an investor wanted to buy the park. Avilia and her neighbors were scared they'd tear it down and force them to move.
Cuando te enteraste que vendían el parque, ¿tenías miedo when you learned that they were selling the park? Were you scared?
Sí. No solamente yo.
Everyone was scared, she says. No one knew what was going to happen. Lots of people were already starting to look for new places to live. The residents of the park joined a new nonprofit called United Neighbors Vecinos Unidos to purchase the land. The nonprofit was supported by 2 other community organizations in Fort Collins. They closed on the deal on August 1st. It's a dream come true, Avilia says. It's a wish we've had for years.
De verdad es un sueño. It's a dream.
Sí, para todos nosotros es un sueño.
Sonia Torres has lived here for 25 years.
Puedo dormir tranquila. Ahora.
She says she can finally sleep well now. While many residents owned their mobile homes, they didn't own the land they sit on. Now they can control what happens to the land without the fear of being kicked out or being taken advantage of. We changed the name because for us, it is starting a new life. We want changes, Avilia says.
Ahora para nosotros es una nueva vida.
A new life.
La Nueva Vida.
La Nueva Vida.
At the Nueva Vida Mobile Home Park. In Fort Collins, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
Colorado passed a Mobile Home Park Act in 2020 that made that sale possible. The act gives residents of any mobile home park the opportunity to make an offer to buy the park if the landlord plans to sell it.
Police arrested the final suspect in the Canadian stabbing spree, but why they went on a rampage is still a mystery.